Hi, this is Maria. I'm going to show how I did this layout using Goodnotes and Procreate. So this is Goodnotes here, and I'm going to click the three dots at the top, clear my page, and I'm going to export. This is the BigWhite DigiBujo by Gollan Designs. And as you can see, it's white, and my original picture had a pretty, here, let's back up. My original picture had a red background. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's clear that page. We're going to save this, export current page. Format is image. Click image again, export, save to the camera roll. That saves your image of your journal, your planner, whatever it is you're saving, without all the goodies across the top from Goodnotes. Saves it to your camera roll so you can use a nice canvas in Procreate. So now here's Procreate. I'm going to click the plus sign at the top right, click screen size. That gives me a nice big canvas. And I'm going to click my wrench tool, click image, insert photo, and I'm going to pick up that very last image I just saved, which was my journal. Now the reason I do this is I'm going to work inside of the frame of the journal, so that when I get back to Goodnotes, everything sizes properly. I don't like the way Goodnotes sizes, so I end up in Procreate a lot of times. Alright, so now all we need to do is add in our weekly grid. So I'm going to add a layer, and then I'm going to make my ink black, and I'm going to add in a photo. You can add photos this way, the way we just did. I find it easier to go this way and just bring my photos up on the side. But you do pick up your photos from wherever it is that you have them stored. So I have a folder named Planner Stuff, and I need a weekly grid. And we're going to pick this one because it's one of Jenny's new ones. Just drag it over. Close that screen out, and now I can use my arrow tool to size it inside of the frame. Okay, let me make that smaller, and I'm just going to play with that a little bit. There we go. Instant weekly spread. Tap, tap, tap. It wasn't quite centered. If you tap with Procreate, it just barely moves your image. Okay. So there's my one sticker. The rest of this is Procreate brushes. So I'm going to pick a brush. I happen to like Jenny's new Paint Strokes, Jenny Gollan Design Paint Strokes pack. It gives you a lot of these. So I'm going to start with this one. And let's pick our palette. So I'm going to select a color palette. I'm going to select Jenny Gollan's Summer and Sand as a default. I believe she gave us some of these palettes in her free newsletter. So once I set the palette that I want as a default, if you click Disk, it puts it here at the bottom of your color wheel. This is personal preference. You can work in any one of these areas. I find the disc is easier as a visual. It's easier for me to work with. So I'm going to pick a pretty teal, and I've already selected my brush stroke. And with Procreate stamp brushes, you just select the size and you tap on the screen. I'm just tapping on the center of the word, so they're fairly the same. And I'm going to pick a different color for the weekend. And actually, I find that it's a little too bright, so I'm going to delete those last two paint strokes, make a new layer, so that I can turn down the opacity just on those two and not on the rest. So when I click the layer and lower the opacity, I'm not affecting the teal. Okay, I like that. So now I'm going to merge those two layers back again, and I want that layer below my grid so that my letters are prominent on top. And I'm going to add a layer and start filling in the pretties. So let's see. Go grab another paintbrush. Let's try this one. Perfect. And again, I'm just tapping in the center of the word. If you find one is just a little bit off, just click your selector tool and your arrow and just move it slightly. Selector and move it slightly. Okay. Again, I'm going to put that layer underneath the grid. Nope, I'm not going to do that. So since I can't do it under, I'm just going to lower the opacity so I can see the letters through it. So you have options. You can either lower the opacity or just simply put the paint color beneath the letters. Alright, so I'm going to add another layer. I'm going to pick a blue and another paint brush. Let's try this one and make it the right size. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. No, the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Alright, now while I have the same size there, I don't want to mess the size of my brush. I'm going to pick a lighter blue and pick the other days. And now I'm going to make my paintbrush smaller. There we go. And then just click on your circle and hold, and it goes to the previous color. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to add another layer, pick another brush, and actually I think we're going to switch to hand-drawn dividers. I like that brush actually. Let's go to a deep burgundy, and I'm going to tap on my screen about center point. Okay, add another layer. I try to put everything in different layers, so if I change my mind, I'm not breaking something. We'll go with this dark red, dark pink. Go back to the brushes and let's see, there's a pretty rose. We're going to just tap that one in. Okay, again, if you don't like the placement of one, use your selector tool and the arrow and just move it to where you want it. Sometimes that's easier than just starting over. This is all in the same layer. I haven't switched layers here for the roses. Whoops. Selector first and then touch your screen. Okay, that looks pretty good. One more layer. Go back to my brushes. It's this one. There we go. Very pretty. Okay, and if you didn't place it just right, just move it a little bit, place it where you want it. Okay, let's see what's next. Go back to your brushes. Let's pick a banner with the darker of the reds. There we go. Okay. Add another layer. I'm just going to use the same color and try to center this right over the center line here. Add another layer. Pick a pretty green. Okay. And pick another layer. Inner labels gives me a pretty heart. This is another set of labels, Jenny Gollan Design Planner labels. I've picked the heart, and I'm going to pick this darker, this pretty blue. And I'm just freehanding hearts here. So I'm going to position it where I want. So now I can just, since those hearts are on their own layer, I can slide and duplicate. And now I can just slide them across. And I didn't have to redraw that. Slide and duplicate. Check my placement. Okay. I'm going to merge those so they're on one layer. Slide and duplicate all of that. Click my arrow tool, slide them over. And I'm simply going to erase this last one because I don't want it there. Check my placement. Move this one just a little bit over, I don't like that. And there we go. Okay, so one last thing, one more layer. I'm going to go back to my deep red, and Jenny was nice enough to make me a stamp, so I can just do that. Beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off my background layer and my journal. Go to my wrench tool, share, PNG, save image, go into Goodnotes, long press, image, photos, moments, pick up that last photo I just saved. I'm going to tap and crop some of this excess so that I have to drop the sticker and just size it to fit. Put it where you want it, tap off the image, and there's my layout. Now, in order to get that pretty outline, I went to my highlighter. I picked the smallest highlighter, selected a pretty red, turned on my straight shape tool, and I simply drew the outline. And the straightener tool straightens the lines for me, and my white journal is now a pretty red journal. The bottom line is a little tricky because if you go off the edge, you break your lines. So if anything, stay above the line and then come back to your corner and it'll straighten it for you. So there you have it. That's my layout for the week. Thank you for watching.